4 signs she's wife material. If you're a man looking for the right girlfriend or wife, you have to watch this video. If you don't understand these signs, then you will end up in relationships and marriages like you have in the past with women who are going to make your life a living hell. We're also going to touch on a couple of red flags that most men are simply too stupid to read. And I would like you to be a little bit less stupid. By the way, I was just as stupid with my ex-wife before I went through my own transformation and now coached hundreds of men from almost 40 countries and helped them find the right girlfriend or wife. I was in the same position. The first sign you want to look for when it comes to the right girlfriend or wife is high self-esteem. Does she even like herself? It sounds unbelievably simplistic, but it is the number one thing you want to screen for. If she's not happy with herself, she will project that negativity onto you. That's the most important fundamental base. We can all get frustrated and sad and fearful and angry and down at times, but how long do we stay there? And what is her emotional home? Because some women, they tend to stay there for a very, very long time. Number 2, is she secure within herself? Not just does she like herself, but is she secure within herself? I've been in past relationships where the person was so unbelievably insecure that she would feel the need to control everything. And she was so unbelievably worried about what people would think of us that she wouldn't even want to kiss me in public. And again, she wasn't a bad person, just very, very insecure. We all have insecurities, but to varying degrees. So the first one is, how much does she like herself? The second one is she secure within herself? Does she like herself? Is she secure within herself? Number 3, is she super, super excited about you? How high is her level of genuine burning desire for you? Because some women will like you 50%, some will like you 99%, and some will like you minus 20. Most men are in relationships or marriages with women who have very little genuine burning desire for them. I didn't coin that term, by the way. I heard it somewhere. It's a fantastic term because it illustrates excitement, not just like or tolerate. With my ex-wife, I felt like I was tolerated at some point. My existence was barely tolerated, not celebrated. You want to be with a woman who's very, very excited about being with you. Again, sounds simplistic, but you probably didn't pay attention to that in the past. The next sign that she could be your girlfriend or wife is, does she get on well with your social circle? Now, that doesn't mean, let me see, there's a fucking insect on the camera. I gotta make sure it doesn't mess up the focus. All right, I think we're still good. Is she easily integratable into your social circle? That doesn't mean she has to get on well with every single one of your male friends. That won't be the case. But generally, is she open-minded, or does she cause drama, or does she even not want to socialize at all? Now that brings me to the next point. Validation seeking. Is your validation enough for her? Or does she crave the validation of countless other men out there? If she needs the validation of too many men out there, it's not guaranteed that there'll be infidelity, but the likelihood is a lot higher, and eventually you'll just feel utterly disrespected. Next point. I just stopped counting. I'm just going to start going and going because they're all very important. Does she respect you in public? If she ever disrespects you in public, that's a very bad sign. Now, you should never disrespect her in public either. Everybody's going to make mistakes at times. That's not about that. But what's her home? Where does she live? Next point. Can she take feedback? Is she able to assume the responsibility for her own actions, or does she always have to blame? Does she always have to be right? We all know those types of people who just can't apologize. Now, you might need to apologize less. A lot of the men that I work with, they apologize almost too much. Some people need to apologize more. Can she assume the responsibility? Are you able to have a conversation on eye level? And obviously, you should assume the responsibility for your own shortcomings. I ask Fernanda every half a year how I'm doing as a fiancé. Well, soon husband, hopefully. But you want to audit your own actions. You never want to assume that, oh, I'm just perfect and that I don't need to undergo any critical evaluation at all. No, but you're probably already doing that. You're probably already a kind, caring, intelligent, hard-working human being. Otherwise, you wouldn't be following this channel. You also have to be with somebody who is willing to look at herself that way and see, where can I do better? Being able to do that on eye level, super important. Next point, physical attractiveness. Do you really like her? My ex-wife, to be honest, I wasn't that attracted to her. And I lied to myself. I said, you know what? I'm not one of those superficial guys who just cares about looks. I am morally and spiritually superior. I care about inner values. I love her though. Well, yeah. And to be honest, if we actually got on well, if our values had been aligned, if our personalities had been compatible, I might have still stayed with her. I might have still stuck it out. I wouldn't have been that happy because it has an impact on your self-esteem as a man and you're lying to yourself and you'll figure that out if you settle below a certain standard. But it does matter, doesn't it? Men who say, looks don't matter, you are lying to yourself. That doesn't mean you need to be dating the most hottest model in the world, but you do have to be attracted to her. And by the way, here's a hack. We all know the scale of 0 to 10. Yeah, fine. But it's actually binary. Are you attracted to her or not? That's it. Are you attracted to her? Logically as well as emotionally. So a lot of these things, they're like a logical checklist. But then do you feel drawn to her? Which brings me to the next point. Not just physically, but emotionally. Are you looking forward to spending time with her? Do you genuinely like that person? We now know that the human being has 3 brains. Obviously the proper brain, but then we have other clusters of nerve cells, some in our heart and some in our gut. That's what they call gut intelligence. And you need to learn, or rather relearn, to listen to your gut. And whether you feel drawn to a certain person or not. Very, very important. And then guys come to me and say, especially men who are achievers, they say, you know what, I think I'm just overly critical. No, you're not. If you disqualified somebody, unless you're delusional, some men are completely delusional and they need to get a reality check, that won't be the case with you. I've never seen it one time that a man who's doing well in his career or business, who's grounded in objective reality, who's sane, is actually overly critical and were to disqualify somebody who is right for him. You just unconsciously detected a lack of compatibility. You couldn't consciously explain yourself what it was, but either you weren't compatible regarding your values or your personality, and you just felt pushed away. And that was exactly what was supposed to happen. Super, super important. The next point, does she support you on your path? Does she support you on your mission? Fernanda is helping me right now. We're doing this together. It's amazing. My videographer is still back in Dublin. We're in Berlin right now, spending some sunny days here. And she's supporting me. And she was actually very busy. So I said, hey, babe, can we go film? She was like, oh, all right, okay. But she was super happy to do it, which is amazing. Thank you, babe. Appreciate it. I said, only 20 minutes, right? So I have to keep this short. Does she support you? Or does she complain about you working too much? Huge red flag, by the way. If she complains about you working too much, if she complains about you spending too much time with men, with quality male friends, that is a massive red flag. You have to have your life, she has to have her life, and you have to have a life together. Extremely important for you to be able to come together and celebrate being together, but you also have to have your own stuff. It could be your career, it could be your business, it could be jiu-jitsu, but she has to support you on the things that are important to you. By the way, that doesn't mean that she can't call you out for your shortcomings. If you have some weight to lose, she could tell you that. If you should take your vitamin D supplements that you haven't been taking, it should be that. If, I don't know, you smoke vapes or so, which I hope you're not doing, and she calls you out for that, that is not her being overly critical of you. That's not her not accepting who you truly are. It's her encouraging you to become a better version of yourself, which is amazing. Now, you should never expect her to have to do that. And again, probably you're already doing good. A lot of men that are watching this, you're already doing great in life. And you don't need somebody to motivate you, but having somebody like that by your side would bestow a new sense of purpose on you because it will allow you to get to new heights. Because let's face it, if we're not working towards something, we kind of stagnate. And it's cool to chill a little bit and relax and kick it. But at some point that gets boring because we either grow or we deteriorate. Progress equals happiness. Whenever we make progress towards some worthy goal, we feel alive. And it's amazing if we have somebody by our side who supports you. Next point, is she peaceful? Does she bring peace? Or does she bring drama and constant fights? It's not to say that you can't ever have an argument, but most of the fights, I would say 90% of the fights most men have in relationships or marriages come from a fundamental lack of compatibility. Let me say that again. Most of the fights most men have in relationships are not because they're not communicating well, it's because they were never supposed to be together in the first place and the relationship is structurally and fundamentally broken. If she causes arguments the whole time, don't be with her. And you have to learn to screen for those radically honestly. You just have to allow yourself to say, well, I guess this isn't going anywhere. And I would rather keep dating for another 3-4 months to look for somebody who I'm actually compatible with than to settle. The worst thing you could possibly do is settle for somebody who's not right for you. The most important decision you'll make in your life is the person you'll have by your side. She can destroy your business. She can destroy your career. Not directly, but rather indirectly. Because if you're constantly fighting two battles, you won't be able to show up with power and with strength and conviction in your job and your career to handle those challenges. You won't be able to have the best creative ideas. Your cognition will literally stagnate. So choose extremely carefully. This list is not exhausted, but it's supposed to give you a couple of pointers. Obviously, you have to have your individual list of must-haves, nice-to-haves, and deal breakers if you want to find the right girlfriend or wife, and you have to learn to disqualify ruthlessly. The prerequisite for all of this is having at least one quality date per week, new date a week. You can use dating apps, you can use Instagram, you can use in-person approaches. But you have to make a decision to not settle. Les Brown says the reason people fail in life is not because they aim too high and miss. It's because they aim too low and hit. And there is an idea in the realm of personal development that is actually super powerful. You've never not gotten something that you actually truly wanted. Let that sink in for a second. You've never not gotten something that you actually truly wanted. Yeah, but Ovid, I wanted to be a billionaire. You didn't really want it. You wanted the career you have in medicine, you wanted the business you have, you wanted the watch, you wanted this, you wanted the body, and you got those things. The things you actually really wanted, you always got. Isn't that an interesting fact of life? You've always gotten what you truly, really wanted. Now, that doesn't mean that you just wish for something passively. You would take a lot of things for free without effort, but actually wanting it and being able to back it up with effort is different. Now, this should give you the certainty that you actually can make this happen. Finding a real quality relationship shouldn't feel like a gamble to you. It is actually something that is 100% within your control. Why? Because there's 400 million women in the world in your age group alone. You only need one. You only need one you're actually compatible with. And if you dedicate yourself to it and you really reflect on your life, if you actually gave it your best, you never failed. If you actually gave it your best in your business or your career, you have never failed. If you actually wanted something. So if you really want this and you commit yourself, of course you can make it happen. It is not a gamble. If you put in the work, if you hit the weekly KPIs, as silly as it sounds, on dating apps, on Instagram, in person, and then you work on your communication skills, and you get some feedback, you get some coaching. If you can't afford it, if not, keep watching free videos. That's fine. That's also a source of coaching. If you do that, 100% you can do that. And if you're a man who is serious about finding the right girlfriend or wife, click the link below this video and apply for a free initial consultation. Looking forward to speaking with you soon. Take care.